Guys, how are you? Wishing you the best as always. And on today's video, we're going to talk about strategy tips for your personal brand and how to share your story. And I'm very excited about this one. So, every Tuesday, right here, I share personal branding and content creation tips. And to know more, to keep knowing more about what I do, all you gotta do is hit the subscribe button, and every Tuesday I'll be right here with you. So who am I? What do I do? I'm a video producer, content creator based right here in Miami. And through my channel, I share personal branding and content creation tips for entrepreneurs, content creators, and side hustlers that want to take their personal brand to that next level. So let's go on to today's subject. Okay guys, so I want to go over some strategy tips that will allow you to share your story and go deep into what your audience needs. So the first tip that I want to share with you is your experience. Your experience is unique. Only you know about it. You're the only one that knows what you have gone through, your wins, your accomplishments, what do you do, everything that makes you you. You're the only one that really knows. So first start with that, with your experiences. The second tip is understand your audience. So I have a tip between this tip. To know your audience, to understand your audience, you have to imagine your ideal customer, your ideal client. How do you do that? Define it as much as possible. For example, if you're starting up in your with your personal brand and it's about boho chic with makeup, okay? So you say, okay, so my ideal customer will be a woman. She likes bohemian, she's a bohemian look. I want her to live in New York, to go to Brooklyn, lives in Brooklyn. She goes to Central Park, rides a bike. You start defining her. She goes to a museum, to the MoMA, and you start defining her. This doesn't mean that you only have to talk to women that live in New York. I just want you to imagine this woman, this person. So when you have it all written down, her likes, her dislikes, where does she go, where she doesn't go, how she dresses. When you finish with that, then you're going to have your ideal customer so defined that when you want to do campaigns or promotions, or when you're going to start talking to different accounts, because so you introduce yourself as a personal brand, you already know that you want to talk to women that like art, that have a boho chic look, and that like makeup. You see? So you have it defined. Okay, that's the second tip. Let's go to the third tip. So the third tip is about know how to share your story. I know that you know your story. I know my story. My friends know their own stories. But how you share your story is very different how you know your story. Okay, so I divided this into 4 acts. The first act is very similar for what I said the first time. It's about experiences. So the first act is share your identity. Talk about your experiences. Talk about where you come from. Talk about what makes you you. Talk about everything that you have lived, all that. That is the introduction. That is the first act. The second act is talk about your failures. What you have overcome. What didn't work. About the hours you spend working on what is your personal brand now. It depends what you are. If you're a cook, if you're a producer, a photographer. If you're cooks, tell them how many hours you spent with that recipe and that it never happened. If you're a videographer, how many hours you spent editing or trying those shoots and they didn't work, and you spent hours looking at YouTube. If you are an architect, if you are an upcoming entrepreneur, just tell them how it went for you, how it didn't go well. Tell them the bad part, because anybody that is successful now had a bad part, had something to know from, had failures, and that happens to all of us. So that is the second act. Now the third act, show them your work. Okay, you're gonna tell them, yes, I failed, yes, it was horrible, yes, I spent hours, but because I failed so much, now I'm winning, and here's my work. Here's my amazing recipe. Here is my amazing quiche that I'm doing right now. This is my amazing production. These are my amazing pictures that I take of fashion models. This is what I do now as an architect. You come from failures and now this is your work that you're showing. Okay? Then the fourth act. How you're gonna finish it, how you're gonna tell them about you. So the fourth act is you're gonna talk to your audience and you're going to reveal something that they want to be part of. This can be a Facebook group, this can be an email list, this can be a membership. It's just talk to them like you were talking to a real person. Just talk to them and tell them, look, I went through all of this, and just reveal them. I want you to be part of this with me. I want you to be part here with me, to be part here in this membership that I am. And because you went from the first act, second act, third act, and in the fourth, you reveal, people are gonna say, okay, now I get her. Now I understand her or him. Because you just didn't went like, hey, this is my membership and this is buy from me, Your personal brand, you're starting. I know that you want to start selling, that you want to start making, that you want things to go through for you. But you cannot just go like, hey, this is what I sell. It doesn't work like that in any situation. Okay, that's we're done with story. Now we're gonna go for the other advice and strategy that I have is you have to listen what your audience is saying. This is called social listening. What is social listening? Basically is reading the comments, engaging with your audience, understanding what they want, understanding their needs, understanding what they're looking for, asking them questions. Go to Instagram, put that question box. Hey, what do you think about my latest post? Ask another question. Hey, what do you think about if a creative idea that I could have that you haven't seen? Hey, do you think something in my Instagram should change? Do you want to see more of this or of this? Ask that questions because at the end your audience is the ones that is looking at you constantly. You cannot only think about yourself, but what you like, what you want to share. At the end, this is not about you, it's about them. Okay? So, that is listening to your audience. Then, one of the most important ones for me is, and I think it will be for you, you have to take what motivates your audience, what moves your audience, what your audience likes, what your audience dislikes, and you have to take your brand right here. So they're here, and you have to find that middle ground. That middle ground is where your personal brand lives. So right there is where you want to share, what you want to tell them about, because you're taking part of them, part of you, and sharing it. So that is one of the most important strategies that I believe it works, but it takes time. Don't get frustrated. Don't think you're not good for this, that doesn't work for you. This takes time. These are strategies that take time, my friends. Okay, for the final one, this is an extra one that I wanted to deliver for you, and I want to read it because I think it's very important for you guys to read it and understand it. So, this one, and I'm going to put it right here so you see the correct definition is when you are in Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, also TikTok lives with this, is every post and every platform needs to have a strong, a powerful insight. So let me tell you what is an insight for those that are like, well, this is new for me. I didn't know we need to go with an insight with every post. Have a powerful insight is the capacity to gain accurate and deep intuitive understanding of a person or a thing, which means what it says, but also which means is understanding what is currently happening, understanding what your brand is about, and understanding your audience as well, and put a good insight in the top, a good title, something that will gain attention, that will tell them, okay, she's talking about this, and this will lead me to this, and to this, and to this. A good insight, a good title, a good deep into is what will give you that attention with your audience. So think about that. This is an extra tip that I wanted to give you to you guys. So thank you so much. Let's go to that question. The question has been asked a lot. What if I don't know how to start my personal brand? I don't even know how my audience is. So all you gotta do is sit down, write it down, and write down your experiences, your thoughts, your ideas, your values, and then you're gonna start understanding your audience. But first you gotta start with you, with what have you done, what haven't you done, and then you can continue with your audience. Guys, I want to take this opportunity to thank you. Thank you so much for your feedback, for your support, for being present. Without you, this couldn't be possible. And thank you for your subscriptions. And for those that are new here, thank you again. And I want to take this opportunity to let you guys know, for the new ones, that if you want to know more about my free online guide, all you gotta do is hit the link below and you're gonna receive it. But this would include video editing tips, design tips, and personal branding tips. And well, thank you very much for your support once again. Well guys, this was it. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being right here with me. So don't forget about that like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and see you next Tuesday.